Hello there, welcome to Genesis Models. My name's Bobby Waldron, and in this little video here we're going to be having a product review of Mig Jimenez's new ammo paint range. Now, Mig Jimenez is quite a popular armoured vehicle modeler, and he does lots and lots of stuff to do with washes and filters and paints and pigments, anything to do with modelling armoured vehicles and weathering side of things. Now, their paint range, right, I've got their catalogue just here, right, and just looking through their paint range, they have about 120 paints altogether in this paint range. But I do believe, if you want to get the ammo paint range, let's just say they're a little bit more specialised than your average manufacturer like Tamiya and all them kind of paint ranges. And I say that because, looking at their paint range and what colours they have to offer, well, first off, they're focusing on armoured vehicles for a start, and then the second thing is is Mig Jimenez, he really likes his modulation effects. So if you like doing the whole modulation effects style painting, and you like doing armoured vehicles, this is probably the paint range for you, but it's very specialised in that. Now, when I talk about the modulation, for example, olive drab. Now, that colour olive drab has 6 different versions of olive drab to do your whole modulation effect. They have the olive drab shadow, dark base, light base, highlights and shine. That's 6 colours for 6 spots of paint for one colour. So you are going to be sort of spending more, but then you're going to have all these colours on hand specifically for doing modulations, which is rather cool, compared to, say, you aircraft guys. You go off and you use one colour, add a bit of white for bleaching, add a bit of black for post shading, and that's it. Whereas, as I say, 6 colours is quite a lot. So yeah, I do quite like that idea, to be honest with you. But for those of you who are maybe just starting the hobby, you might be better off, if you want to get the ammo range, to maybe just get like olive drab base, and maybe just leave it at that, or maybe 1 or 2, because you don't have to do all 6 modulation colours. You could do easily 4 or even 3 of the modulation colours. So you don't have to go overboard and get the entire range. So the cost of these paints, they're around about the £2 mark ish. You can get the sets, which you can get maybe about 6 paints in a set, or you can get like a modulation set for I don't know how much it is, but you don't save anything. How much you pay for a paint singly, times that by how many paints are in, say, a set, and that's how much you pay. You don't really save anything at all. I think you end up paying maybe 1 pence or something more, but then again, it depends where you shop, because they manufacture them in Spain, and I have ordered from the ammo website a few times to get like a bit of these ammo products in, and to be honest with you, their dispatch service is rather good. I know to get it, say, in the UK, I think they do deliver to the USA, you do end up having to pay for like a courier, which does kind of mean you're paying like an extra £10–15 on top. So it really isn't something that you want to go off and buy 1 or 2 paints and then pay £10–15 courier charge. But if you do spend a fair bit, maybe you spend £100 or something, then it does work out nicely and cheaply, because if you go direct to ammo, the price of everything is like quite a bit cheaper than if you, say, went off to a UK online store. They end up charging a bit more than the RRP, and that's probably down to like getting them imported into the UK or wherever. So you'll have to kind of shop around on the prices, but I do think the actual ammo website, their dispatch service is rather good. I mean, they keep you up to date every step of the way of when it's being packed and dispatched, and then you've got tracking and everything like that. So you know, they are really good in that sense. So what we're going to do now, we're just going to get on the bench, and we're going to spray some of these paints out and see how they come out. So using our little dummy piece here, F14, we're going to do some spraying just on here now. First thing you'll notice with these paints is they look like Vallejo's paints. Give them a good shake, right, and all of a sudden you kind of notice that they've got little ball bearings in there, which is, you know, really fantastic actually, that they've gone off and they've added that little bit of an extra to help, you know, shake these up. Now you do need to really give these a good shake, right? So no messing about, not a little shake. You've really got to give them a damn good shaking, and the reason for this is this is what makes these ammo paints a bit unique, and that is, I know Vallejo, they say you can pour and spray and that's it, you don't need to fin it. But I do find that when you're doing a bit of spraying with those Vallejo paints, you do really kind of need to thin them down a little bit, because they do dry rather quickly. However, these ammo paints really are well and truly pour and spray. You know, love it or hate it, you know, that's what they are. You know, for a beginner, you know, this is quite really good actually, because I know a lot of people when they first start, they have a bit of a problem with the whole, you know, guesstimating, you know, a 50-50 mix of paint to thinners, whereas this is just, you know, pour and go, which is rather good. And even for an advanced model, it's quite nice just to pour and go as well anyway. But in saying that, you get 17 mils of paint, and if you're not thinning it, you know, you're kind of using 100% paint, so it's gonna get used up a little bit quicker. Next thing, about 20 psi does it to for this, which I should put it down to. There we go. Now with these paints, right, what you want to do is you really need to go off and put a nice light coat every time, right? I mean, I teach you to do nice light coats every time, but with these paints you really do need to do it, and I'll just show you why. Well, hopefully it'll work for me on camera, because if we sort of put on, say, a medium coat like so, right, so it's obviously it's looking a lot heavier than this side, right? We let it dry, and what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to kind of speed things up, and I'm just going to build up until we got great coverage. This side being the nice light coats, this side being like medium coats. Right, so now I've put nice coverage for both these sides, but all I've done is sprayed light and medium coats. So let's bring you in and I'll show you the difference. Right, here is the nice light, almost misty coats, and hopefully, as you can see, that is looking quite nice, very smooth. It's got a nice satin, or well, sort of almost satiny finish going on with it, and that is looking actually really nice. I mean, it's not properly dried yet, but I'm just feeling that feels really smooth, you know, exactly what you want from your paints, right? But then here's the problem that some people are having, is they put on, say, a medium coat, right, or even putting a light coat on. You might just do a bit more than a light coat, and you can get this really bad orange peel effect. As you can just see there, that is absolutely terrible, right? So you've really got to be careful with these paints. They can really cause you problems. So, you know, the one big thing with these paints is, one, you can pour and spray, and two is you must do light coats to almost misty coats and build it up that way, which is the way you should be spraying anyway. But you go anything like a medium or heavy coat going on here, and you do get this nasty orange peel effect going on. So, you know, it's sort of a downer, but then, as I say, I always teach that you should be actually spraying light coats anyway and building it up that way. So you know, it isn't a bad thing, but hopefully, as I've just shown you, you know, it goes down really smooth, and because it's got a bit of satin to it, you know, it does seem as though, you know, it probably does have, you know, a nice bit of grip on there and bites to the plastic rather nicely. I mean, it does scratch, but I mean, it's better than, say, Tamiya. You know, that stuff scratches like nobody's business until you get a gloss coat on there or something. But I do actually really like the finish that you get with these. Just to kind of show you as well, you can buy acrylic thinners. Although you don't need to use it so much, to be honest, because, as I say, it's pour and spray. I have actually done bleaching with this paint and got away with not actually thinning it down as well, which was you know, which was quite cool in a way. But you probably would want to thin it for, you know, some sort of post shading or something like that. But you can get the thinners. Just going to show you as well, you can get their cleaner for this, which you probably can't see, but at the top, right, you can just see like a bit of oil. I don't think you're picking up that on camera, but you know, there is like a little layer of sort of oil floating on the top, and that is just plain and simply they've got a little bit of oil in there so that you can clean your airbrush, but it also keeps your moving parts all nicely oiled and going nicely. So if you do buy this, first things first, you've got to shake it up, right, so that you kind of mix that bit of oil in with all the thinners, so that you don't kind of open it up straight away and the first thing you pour in there is just a load of oil, and you know, you've used up all your oil straight away. So, you know, make sure you give it a good shake, and then it cleans up actually rather well. But I think I'm just going to speed things up and clean that later off camera. So, you know, there you go. There is Jimenez's new paint range going on there. Personally, I like them. I would recommend them. I think they are nice, easy paints. For a beginner, they're also, you know, rather good paints in the fact that it's pour and spray, but you've really got to watch out for that putting too much of a heavy coat on, because that peeling will come at you, and even if you do light coats, it can still slightly come through a bit. So then on the second coat, you really just want to lightly mist it where it might have done that orange peel effect, and then it goes away. So you know, that's the only thing really to worry about with this. But I do like how it is, the whole modulation effects. I mean, when it comes to armor, that modulation effect is rather cool and does look cool on your miniatures. In fact, I could probably just show you the one I'm working on. You'll be able to see this in the Sherman build that's going on. But here is what I mean by the modulation effect, which just makes it look so cool. And basically you've got all this you know, darker version of olive drab, and then you just highlight it and you get all these lovely, you know, points and highlights, and you know, lovely modulation effect, which I do think's rather cool. And you know, these paints are really designed and set up for armored vehicles and that whole modulation thing, which is rather cool. So yeah, a big thumbs up there to Ammo. I hope you've liked this product review and sort of maybe got you thinking about and some more paints that you might want to add to your collection. So until next time, my name's Bobby Waldron, this is Genesis Models, and I hope you've enjoyed.
you.